Hello there, and you're very welcome to the Gleneagle Hotel Killarney for the second launch of our DVD, Secrets of Kerry, A Captain's Story. It's going to make a fabulous night. We have a huge amount of people here, relatives of deceased captains and some of the captains themselves. And as you can see just behind me here, a fabulous array of pictures of the captains and a little story about their lives. They'll be presented to each and every one of them. Last Friday night we were down in Cotteen's pub in Kells, and that was a fabulous occasion. Huge crowd, a great turnout there. So you enjoy this Secrets of Kerry, A Captain's Story, the second launch. Can I say a very warm welcome to everybody to what we expect is a very historic occasion. On behalf of Christy Reardon, who's the man behind this nearly 3-year project, and myself, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for coming out.
This CD is the nearest thing I've seen to a history of Kerry GA. Nobody has ever taken on the real job of writing a history. I suppose it's because we've been there so long and we've been so successful. I want to sincerely congratulate the two men, and Joanne, of course, Christy and Wishy, on a fabulous job. It's riveting stuff. It brings back memories of what we've heard and read about, and it was a huge challenge, and sure, anything worth doing is a huge challenge.
I'm privileged and honoured to be in such company tonight. We are in great company, and we have added to that tonight, to this great company we have with us, by adding this excellent, absolutely enthralling DVD. It is very right that people should be remembered. We are very good at it in the GA, but we are also very lax in recording and putting things in paper. And this DVD will put a lot of that very, very, very right. I know that we were enthralled looking at it tonight, how must the families feel when they'll see it and watch it over and over again. I want to congratulate you, Christy and Wishy, on a marvellous production, and one that will stand the testament of time. And on behalf of everybody, congratulations on a job well done.
You're very welcome to the launch of Secrets of Kerry. I'm delighted that the snow has held off for us this time, and I'd like to apologize that we had to postpone 2 weeks ago.
And this is, I think, a very rare production, probably once a century that we'll have a production like this dealing with Kerry anyhow. Few of us will be alive for the next one. The amount of work and everything else went in it, I'm astonished that they could get it done in that much time. The commitment, the resilience, they kept going. When I think Wishy mentioned it to me maybe a year or two ago, and you said this will be 10, 15 years, or maybe the Kathleen Mavonian style, it will never be done. But here it is before us. I congratulate and thank both of you for your great efforts. And Martin Skrifter, Mari Unscanon Shaw. It's fitting, I think, very fitting, that it's the Dublin Men's Kerry People's Association should be hosting this.
The main thing I would say about the particular CD is it will stand the test of time. This is not something that, you know, Christmas will come and Christmas will go, and you know, it has to be bought for Christmas or anything like that. This is something that you might pick up and leave through maybe, you know, 6 months, a year's time or 2 years' time. It reminded me, I suppose, when I looked at the CD, of it was akin to, I suppose, the closest way I could describe it was growing up as a boy, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, and travelling with my father into Valentia Island, into Mick O'Connell's household, where Ned and Mick were great friends. And I remember in Mick's mother's house, there was a box, or what they call a rack, I suppose, with one of the old suitcases in it, that the mother kept all his clippings. I can assure you Mick wasn't keeping any of his own clippings. But I remember as a young child being completely mesmerised by this box in the corner, and I used to slip my way into the corner and I'd pull out all these reports of the games down through the 50s and 60s, and I suppose I was enthralled by it, and it was something that had a huge influence on me. But this is the first time, I suppose, since in a modern era that I can see something akin to that. I picked it up last week and turned it on for a few minutes, and it just brought back the memories, you know, of that period of time for me personally. But it is something that all of us, I suppose, are lovers, I suppose, of the green and gold and of Kerry football. I must say that Donny, you mightn't admit it, but you are a special elite group of men that growing up, as a young boy, I suppose, in Carsavine and in Kerry, the dream was to wear the green and gold, and the ultimate would have been to captain Kerry and success and bring home the Sam Maguire. And I suppose, you are a special group of people that we are in awe of, that we do look up to, and throughout this CD, and I suppose hopefully and throughout, and it is the case, is that the shining light that comes through for me is that the humility of all of the Kerry captains. This is not bragging of successes and the number of Irelanders that have been won by Kerry. This is a statement by their families, by themselves and by their people and by their communities.
In 1903, Kerry won its first All-Ireland senior football title, and over a century later, Darren O'Sullivan captained the kingdom to its 36th title. Now, Kerry radio broadcaster Wishi Fogarty has documented the triumphs and near misses of Kerry's journey, Kerry's numerous journeys to Croke Park, not just one.
Joining us to discuss the passion, the raw emotion and the enormous part that Sam has played in the lives of the people connected to the various Kerry teams is Wishi Fogarty and the youngest winning captain, Darren Sullivan. But first, let's take a look at what the oldest living captain, Gus Cremins, had to say in the documentary.
He didn't want me on the team, and I make out that only for Joe Barrett we wouldn't have won that All-Ireland, because Joe Barrett insisted that I'd be on the team. He made a show because I wasn't on it, and at least 6 times he had me shoved into the field before I was eventually put on.
Yes, yeah.
And I got the winning point.
Excitement runs high as the crowd surges on the field.
You didn't go up to receive the cup with Paddy Kennedy.
I was taking shoulder high around the field.
Right.
And I didn't see the cup being presented at all.
Right. Were you disappointed, Gus, after not receiving the cup?
I came home before the team.
Good morning, gentlemen. Wishi, nice to see you again, and Darren, nice to meet you the first time. Mr. Fogarty, a labour of love, I think it's safe to say, and one that's probably taking you, what, 4 years to put together?
Well, the guts of 3 years, Mark, I can tell you, with Christy Reardon, who's the producer and the editor of the whole thing of CR Videos, Carsavine. We set out on it about years ago to do it, and it took longer than what we expected, naturally enough, because as we progressed and we started interviewing all the captains, it developed into history of Kerry football, really. And the further we went and the more stories we uncovered, it was absolutely fascinating. And as you said, it took about the guts of 3 years. CR Videos and Carsavine did a tremendous job with it, and we believe that it's one of the best products of its kind that has come out about the GA. It's a 4-hour DVD.
We're just looking at Gus there, you could see, like, it was 1946, but his face is completely alive and animated, and the excitement he still feels now, recounting that day.
That's right, Sinead. Actually, that was a very sad part of the whole thing, because he'd be 90 years old now in January, and he still regrets the way that he was dropped for the replay in 1946. And there was a lovely touch at the lunch in Killarney lately when Darren, the youngest Kerry captain ever, met the oldest captain, who'd be Gus, but he's not the oldest winning captain. The oldest winning captain then is Jazz Murphy. Darren also met him. So there was lovely touches in the whole thing being brought together. So we believe ourselves that the documentary, as I said, is a 4 hours. It has documented really Kerry football in itself.
So to win it then, Darren, was that something you've been dreaming of since you were wee high? Like, was it really that day when you were stood up there, you took sound, was that the day that you were like, this is it, this is the day I want to remember forever, for all eternity?
Yeah, it was. It was obviously great, like, but being honest, it's not something you dream of, because being from a small club like Glenbeigh, you know, you don't actually, you'd be dreaming of playing for them, but getting the opportunity to captain them, it wasn't something that I actually expected to happen. So obviously it was something special, but I had 22 years of it. I didn't want it to be the pinnacle, like, so hopefully there'll be other days ahead.
You would think that everybody in Kerry will buy this for Christmas and nobody else outside the county will, but I suspect it'll be a big seller, and it's a wonderful piece of history and archive and kept there. And by the way, while we're at it, congratulations on your UI award.
Thank you very much.
It's an award-winning radio broadcaster. Well, Darren, I want to wish you success, but it will be at Cork's expense, so...
Captain's Story, Secrets of Kerry, an amazing new DVD, really perhaps a work of historical significance in many respects, has just been released, and we have one of the men behind it with us, PPI Sports Broadcaster of the Year, Wishy Fogarty. We also have two genuine legends of the game, Donny O'Sullivan, captain of the 1970 Kerry team, and Maurice Fitzgerald, who features in a special extra interview on the DVD. Wishy, first off, really, what an amazing achievement, to be honest, to interview and to do a feature on the captains who have ever led Kerry to greatness. Where did the idea come from, and just how much work went into it?
Well, Joe, as you said it there now, when you look back at it now, it was done and dusted. It was an amazing feat, really, and it was very humbling for us involved. But the main man behind it was a man by the name of Christy Reardon from Carsavine and down in South Kerry. He owns his own company down there, CR Videos, and he came to me nearly 3 years ago now, and he said he had this idea in his head for many years of doing this, of interviewing every living, winning Kerry captain, and he said to me, would you mind coming on board and giving a hand? So I said I did, thinking it wouldn't develop what it did, but nearly 3 years after then, when you look back at it, and we discovered what we had done, so it meant really, Joe, it meant interviewing every single living winning captain, and then what we set out to do, we set out to interview the nearest relative of every dead captain, and to nearly 100% we achieved that. And there's some fascinating stories in it, and it's absolutely unbelievable when you look at it. But the end result is that the editing that Christy Reardon did it, and the work that he put into it, that really made it is, because we believe this is the best, greatest GA DVD that was ever produced in this country.
Maurice Fitzgerald, like, for you, obviously, growing up in Kerry, you know, I mean, you grew up in the presence of legends. To kind of see it finally encapsulated together on a couple of DVDs, I don't know if the rest of the country might finally begin to get a sense of what it means to be part of that whole Kerry tradition.
Yeah, Joe, well, of course, I suppose the name says the secret of Kerry captains. I wonder if anybody will find any secrets. Too many Kerry men give away too many great secrets as to how to win All Irelands. For me, growing up as a young child, I suppose, in Kerry, the closest way I could describe this video, what it would mean in terms of how it was growing up as a boy, was as a young child going to Mick O'Connell's house, being brought there and leafing through some of the old magazines and clippings in a box, and I suppose marvelling and getting lost completely inside in that and being completely captivated by that. And I suppose this is akin to that now as a modern piece. You turn on your video and, you know, you just get lost in it. And I think it's a piece of work that will stand the test of time. It is being launched now for Christmas by Christy Reardon and Wishy, but I think it is a piece that you would be able to revisit, and it is something that will stand a testament. I mean, I'm sitting here next to Donny Sullivan, won his first All-Ireland, or not his first, but Captain Kerry, I suppose I was just born, and here I am sitting next to him, and he's one of the icons and legends of the game down in Kerry, and, you know, it's a phenomenal thing to gather all of this information, and it's something that needed to be done, I think. I think it was a fantastic initiative by Christy Reardon.
Maurice, there is this real sense, though, that everybody just decided that this was going to be such an important project, that the thing to do was to be completely open and honest, and there was no holding back, no sense that this is it was a drag or it was difficult, or it is so gentle and so easy, and as a result of that everybody seems to tell their truth.
Yeah, well, I think that's, in fairness, is a fantastic tribute to Wishy and Christy, and in fairness is worth mentioning John Sullivan as well, who I think he carried out one of the interviews there with Mick O'Dwyer. Is that right?
Christy's son, Tony.
Is that right? And Christy's son, yeah, Tony. And I think that's a fantastic credit to them, because you only have to be in their company, believe you me, for a few minutes to know that there's a nice, easy flow.